Hey guys, welcome to a special edition of the District Gamers podcast. I'm your host Stealthy. Joining me today is Zexy Haas and the special guest return from episode 5, Abs, or Abid. We're going to pretty much be going over our season 1 predictions between me and Haas on episode 1 and going back to episode 5 when Abid joined us on the podcast. Okay, Zexy Haas, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start with our Warcraft 3 prediction. You said it was going to be a November release, and I said it was going to be an October release, and it didn't come out until January of 2019, or wait, 2020. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what we said. And we were wrong. And I wish it took a little longer so they can fix it.
Yeah, and we thought it was finished. We thought it was going to be good, and we were anticipating it. Unfortunately, it was really bad. One of the things we said, though, whoever is correct about it is going to owe someone a case of soda. Actually, you said that.
Yeah, I guess nobody wins it.
Yeah, so what do we do about this? Who gives a case of soda?
I was a lot closer, but Stealthy, you're cutting off a little. See if you can hold it a little longer when you.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that. I guess we got to give the case of soda to someone else, but then again, we got to sanitize them first.
Yeah, we definitely got to sanitize them. Coronavirus out here.
All right, and then Overwatch 2, we both said it's going to be late. Wait, you said it's going to be late 2021. I said fall 2021. Oh, that's basically the same thing. Do you change that prediction? Now that it actually got announced. Overwatch 2.
Yeah, so it was announced. They didn't announce a release date yet, but I'm gonna have to go a little bit closer, maybe early 2021, for the only reason being that I feel like Overwatch is dying, part one, so they probably wanna release that since that one's done.
That's a very good prediction, and I would have thought the same thing, but because of coronavirus, it led me to keep the same prediction, so I'm going to stick with fall 2021. Okay, now Diablo 4, you chose 2022 and or 2023. So you're saying it's so far out there that it's going to take a long time. I said fall 2021 or early 2022. And we did get to see how it looks. We saw the gameplay. They released it at last year's BlizzCon. Do you change your prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go mid 2021 now. That's my new prediction.
Mid 2021, okay.
Or actually, late 2021. I'm sorry, I said mid. Late 2021, maybe holiday season around that area.
Okay, I'm going to stick with my initial prediction. I think it's still far out there. Fall 2021 or early 2022. I did want to ask you, Abs, you can feel free to give your predictions. What do you think for Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 so far?
Overwatch 2, I kind of have to agree with that. Overwatch 1 is kind of slowed down a lot, so they might try to push it just to bring that people back into the game, get some more sales, while Overwatch is still kind of on the people's mind. As far as Diablo, I would like to see it come out sooner, because I enjoy playing Diablo, but I have no clue on. I haven't been following with Diablo at all, so I would like to see it come out before 2022. That'd be nice. End of the year, hopefully, 2021, which would be reasonable. I mean, they've been working on it for a minute now, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. I watched a few other gaming podcasts, and they think it's like 3 years out. That it's going to take them forever to release it. But who's to say? Anyways, another prediction me and Zexy Haas had is that, or sorry, not a prediction. We both said that there's no need for a Hearthstone 2. Just keep releasing expansions. And we were pretty much correct about that because they just released the Illidan expansion.
They've been releasing expansions since day one. It's like saying World of Warcraft 2. Like, there'd be no point because you're just going to keep releasing expansions, which is the 2 and the 3 and the 4, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. I think the core gameplay is there for Hearthstone, but I would like to see a World of Warcraft 2 eventually. Like, I know they updated the graphics, but I want like killer PC graphics, but I know that will never happen. At least not
World of
for 20
Warcraft
years.
2 is like, BC. World of Warcraft 3 is like Wrath. You know what I mean? It's like they just keep adding expansions and changing the game style. I mean, look at how far it's come from vanilla to now. It's like a whole new game, you know?
Yeah, definitely, and that train is not stopping. Okay,
hmm
we got Heroes of the
And
Storm.
this,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, as far as Hearthstone, to make a part two, it would just be the same game with different characters. So you might as well just expand, make expansions because that's the type of game that you really can't change gameplay of too much. It's a card style game, you know.
Yes, definitely. I wouldn't know what they would need to add to change it. Actually, one thing they could add to it would be like 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3. That would make it unique, but that would be a
hmm
tough core gameplay element.
But they do kind of have that when they do the arena battles and the brawls. They'll have that now and then where it'll be like two versus PC or 2v2.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that. I haven't played since, I think before the Brawlers expansion. How does that work?
Okay. It's just a brawl. You click on it. It's like every week they change it to a different style, different like arena style map, and they're just random. But yeah, sometimes they'll have one where it's a co-op, like you're playing with somebody else on the same team against a NPC.
Oh, okay, so it's AI opponent. That still sounds
hmm
fun. I'll have to check that out. Have you checked that out, Zexy Haas?
No, I haven't yet.
I was into
Okay.
Hearthstone for a bit, where I'd play it, a good amount, climbed up the ladders pretty decently, but I just never really dedicated too much time to it.
I see. Yeah, I've never played ranked. I don't know. It's not that I'm scared
I
to. I just don't want to get sucked into that and then sucked into buying cards because I didn't pay a penny for that game. I
Well,
earned
I
all my
haven't paid a
gold.
penny either.
you
Yeah,
don't
I
really
haven't paid a
yeah
penny.
you don't really need to pay. I haven't played it in a minute, but when I was playing it, I was playing ranked, and I never really paid money. It's pretty easy. If you do quests to make money, you can just
hmm
But
buy
there's
the
so
cards like
many
that.
expansions out now that it seems like you need to do
See,
that.
but the thing about it is, when you play ranked, you can play two different modes. You can play a wild mode, which is all the cards that are in the deck, which is a disadvantage to you if you're new to it and you don't spend money. But there's a standard mode, which only uses that current season's cards and the basic cards, which everybody has a basic. So as long as you grind out that season, you can get plenty of cards for that season and be competitive in the standards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might have to grind more and check it out. But at this point, I have a huge backlog of games. But that's really interesting. I didn't really know that. Okay, moving on. Heroes of the Storm, which is one thing we said, Zexy Haas, was to make it more like League. Actually, you said that. I disagreed because I like how it plays and that the games are shorter. You still stand by that?
Yeah, that game. It's as far as MOBA games go, it's probably the most behind that. Well, it's probably ahead of Smite. I don't know. Actually, maybe Smite is ahead. I don't know. But as far as like Dota and League, they're like light years ahead.
What do you think
Like
League has that Heroes doesn't?
I don't know, man. Well, something about Hero that I strongly dislike. It's a much harder to snowball in Heroes. Like it relies more on team, which is okay, I guess, if you want to play like that. But in League, you can carry a game on your own. It's very
Well,
possible.
because with Hero, everybody shares the same XP.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
It's
so
a lot
everybody
hard.
gains a level together.
Yeah.
Also,
So
you
if,
gotta
if
buy
four,
items and all that.
yeah,
hmm
but as far as levels go, like if all 4 or 5 of you, I'm sorry, aren't doing good, it's very hard for you to actually go ahead. But if one person's doing good and like 4 are doing bad in League, or 2 or 3 people are doing good and 2 people are doing bad, it's very possible for you to win. In Hero, you guys have to be on the same level. I don't know. I just don't. I
I'm gonna
dislike the
I'm
game.
gonna play I'm gonna play devil's advocate on you here. Let's say you're playing Hero and or League and one person's doing really bad. He could throw the game for you as well.
Big possibility. Big possibility. So yeah, then in that case, I guess it's better. Heroes better because 4 people are doing good. I don't know. It's just something about that. How
Oh
you guys
man.
share levels. I dislike so much. It's like it takes you out of the game. It's more about the team. I just
It makes you play as a team. It makes it see the thing. Let me tell you why in a sense that I like that style because it doesn't give that aspect of you stole my CS. Stop fucking killing my CS. You know what I mean? Like it stops that argument of that's my kill. You took my kill. Why
Yeah.
did you KS me? You don't have to hear that stuff because it's a team game. Everybody shares XP.
Why do you think Heroes of the Storm is a failure compared to Dota and League?
Is it a failure?
Well, Blizzard's making it a failure, and that's what Flying Hole mentioned, is that they stopped the esports of it, the tournaments. And all I have to say, if Flying Hole was on here, I think this argument would stretch another hour between you and Flying Hole Ebbs.
Bro, I don't know. I tried.
No, I'm by any means. I'm not saying it's better than League. I'm just saying I understand the different style of why it's like that.
And obviously that style doesn't appeal to the masses. The
You're right.
numbers are so far behind those. So far behind. Here,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to pull up some of the numbers while you guys...
Well, I'll tell you, it appeals to me definitely because of the Blizzard characters, like I've said before, and because it's shorter games. I don't like to go into League.
Yeah.
And I know Flying Ho's been telling me, hey, the games are a lot shorter now, but still, it's just, I'm used to Blizzard games. I'm used to the characters. I'm used to their spells. I like it overall.
Plus, I like the fact that you can pick up, play a game in 15, 20 minutes, it's over. Where League, sometimes you get sucked in for 45 minutes to an hour if it's a good game, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, while you look that up, I'm just going to mention one thing we also said on episode 1 at the end of it, Zexia Haas. When me and you were for WoW Classic, we mentioned someone who was against WoW Classic and wanted to, or used to tell us a lot about how retail's a lot better. And I said he might come on the podcast. I just wanted to update that he said he's not willing to come on here because he'd rather not. He's not the type of gamer that likes to be on. So
Okay.
I think you know who I'm talking about, but just wanted to bring that up.
No, I don't.
One of the best BFA players. He's
Oh, yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Now
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Abbott wants to fight him, right?
I don't want to fight him. I just want to put him to sleep sometimes. You know?
Well, I couldn't find the numbers, by the way. I don't know. Maybe
yeah.
Blizzard doesn't report them, which makes sense.
Okay, and I mentioned other shows also that were unrelated to gaming, like sports, food, movies, TV shows. If we ever do that, it's going to be long down the line in the future, but not at this point. We're sticking to gaming at this point. And because we did mention sports also on episode 10 of season 1, and with the whole shutdown, we're gonna say we're gonna delay it for another year.
Well, yeah, I would hope so. There's no sports right now.
Okay, now we're getting close to the WoW topic. WoW Shadowlands, that's our main topic for this podcast. But going back to episode 1 on season 1 on WoW Classic, before we played it, you had dived into the beta. This is exactly what you said. You said it won't be as hard as nowadays. We understand more. I won't go all out and speed level. Next, it's not something we are going to do. Now, before you comment, I'm going to say myself, it was definitely as hard as it was back then, but it was also it was also a little bit easier because of the Quest Helper, the Questy mod we downloaded. But I still died like crazy in that game, and the PvP was just insane. The amount of ganking, especially in STV, was insane. We did understand more, yeah, definitely. I didn't go all out. You did go all out. It took me about 6 months to hit level 60. Is next something I'm gonna do? No, because I haven't done any raids. Go ahead, Haas.
Man, you're tripping out. That game was so much easier than what I remember it. I remember it took me, after 6-7 months, I was like level 30 back in the day in 2006. All right? I got to level 60 in less than a month, in a couple weeks, and I raided.
No.
Yeah, I did. It was about 4 weeks, 3 to 4.
Really?
Yeah. It was exactly like 9 days of gameplay. I played 9 days in 4 weeks. Yep.
Excuse me, but I was saying I do remember it was a little over a month.
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah.
When we did episode 5, you were still like level 50.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe I'm tripping out. It was a little over a month then. But anyway.
Well, that was still quick.
It was.
Quicker than us. I'm still not 60. Shit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But go finish up.
The easier part was the raids. I thought it would be so much harder to raid because the way they made it sound. And when we did Molten Core, 40 people, it was so forgiving. Like you can make mistakes and still win, as long as the whole group doesn't make mistakes.
So
you can
was
get
it tweaked from the original? Because I remember the original being super hard in Molten Core.
I really think it was a lot harder because a lot of people didn't understand the best in slot. And once you farm out your best in slot and the items you need, and
it does make it easier. Yeah,
it makes it so much easier, man.
And a lot of people are familiar with all these fights now. Back then, it was like you were learning the fights while you were doing them.
Exactly. Yeah, all the guides are already out. People know what to do, what to not stand in. People back then probably saw fire under their feet, and they're like, "Oh, this is cozy. It's not a nice jacuzzi or something."
And it helps that I was in one of the best guilds in the world right now, so they knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, you were in my cousin's guild, right? Right now he's still hardcore playing. Got 2 level 60s and they're like fully geared. And ZG just came out.
Yeah, I seen that. I don't know if I'm gonna go on for that. I lost the interest of the game, not because of the game being bad. It's a great game. I love Classic. I lost the interest from Blizzard, man. I can't.
Yeah, same here. Once I hit 60, I'm not going to say I lost interest for Blizzard, but I did lose interest for WoW Classic. I went back to retail and I played my warrior and I'm like, oh my god, this just feels so much better because my warrior on Classic every spell is slower and I lost the patience. Leveling to 60, I just lost the patience of playing my warrior.
Yeah, well, you're playing arms, and arms in level 60 is only good for PvP. If you do go dual wield furry, it's so much better.
But still, all that rage in retail, and you just feel like a superhero on that game. So, yeah, I went back to it.
Well, that's the thing. Vanilla is way more. You gotta ration your mana, your rage, and it's all.
Basically, stealthy. You're casual.
Not really, because I could continue and do those raids and beat the battlegrounds, but I've done them before, and I feel like I'm gonna waste my time. I mean, in that 6-month frame, I beat over 20 games because I took a break and got bored of WoW Classic leveling. Even though I really enjoyed it, I really enjoyed the exploration, but I just wanted to come back to what feels new, the newer experience. And that's what I was gonna talk to both you and Abid. We'll start with Abid. I know you didn't hit level 60 yet. I don't know if it's maybe you didn't have time or you went back to retail and you're leveling in retail more, but give us your take.
I honestly enjoyed it. I wish I did continue to 60. I just got tied up with work and been doing a lot of overtime and it took away a lot of my free time that I used for games. But yeah, I did enjoy Classic a lot. I played it, and honestly, if I wasn't tied up and occupied with other things, I probably would have hit 60 and rated a little bit here and there, but I wouldn't have dedicated it as much as I thought I would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I still ultimately enjoy retail more just because the PvP aspects of it and everything.
Yeah,
the
content is fresher right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's and the convenience of it. I'm not running for 20 minutes before I get somewhere I need to go.
Yeah, definitely. If it was back then, we had more time. We, sit on it all day. That's the problem. It's not that casual.
I didn't have a kid. I didn't have, I just all my time was just free. I did whatever I wanted to do. I didn't have anything holding me. Now it's like I got, I'm always on the move and on the go. So when I do have time, I don't want to waste it running.
Definitely. Okay, so me and you prefer retail up to this point. Haas said he would not return to Classic most likely, but what would you say? Are you going to return to retail, or you're just going to wait for the Shadowlands expansion? And
I'm definitely not returning to retail. I didn't like BFA at all, even though I got pretty far in rating in it. I disliked it a lot. And as far as Classic, if they release BC, I'll play for sure. And
yeah, definitely.
That's when I'll come back. I'll finish level.
Yeah,
that's when you'll finish leveling. Definitely.
I got full rest to this XP at least. That'll help.
Oh yeah, I gotta mention that. Yeah, I knew you were about to say Zexy Haas. When I hit level like 40, or even lower, maybe 38. I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna wait till I rest every level, and I'm gonna level. I leveled from 38 to 60 on full 200% rest.
You just wait for it to fill up and then level it, log
I just
off, and it
want to
turns
know how
purple.
it took you 6 months. Oh man, was fully rested. I wish I had that.
Well, think about it. You gotta wait
Well,
until you're rested.
You gotta
and then
let the
level.
rest of it build. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I think I did that back on BC from 60 to 70. I know, I'm ashamed of it.
I did that with all my alts. I leveled one guy straight through, and then my alts, whenever they had rested, I'd just fucking grind out a couple quests or do some dungeons, burn up the rested, switch to the next alt, burn up the rested, switch to the next alt.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun to do that. I'm doing that now with retail. But real quick, I want to touch on the ratings we gave WoW Classic. I gave it an 8.5, Abid gave it an 8, and Zexios, you gave it a 9. Do you guys change that rating?
I'm content. I'm content with my 8.
As far as I played, I'll probably give it a 10 out of 10. I loved it.
Oh god.
Wow, what?
10. A 10
10.
has.
10 out
Do you
of 10.
understand? Do you understand that means perfect?
Okay.
So, okay,
9.9.
what we're gonna do on this podcast? What we're gonna do on this podcast, the next section is grade WoW expansions. So, are you gonna stick with that 10? And we're gonna
No,
grade them. We're gonna letter grade them.
Definitely not. Okay,
You're
is
like,
S,
nope, 7.
S is the best, right?
Well,
And then it goes A, B, C, D, E.
no, we're gonna do A. But right now, I'm just telling you. Would you change your? So you change your 9 rating to a 10 for WoW Classic?
No. Let's go back to a 9.
Okay. I'm gonna say I go down to a solid 8 and agree with Abbott after experiencing it. Because when I was at that 8.5, I was like, oh, FBFA, F retail, I like classic. But now I returned to retail and I'm liking retail more, so I'm gonna drop my rating to an 8.
Stick with the 8.
Okay, and then from there we can move on to grading WoW expansions. Let's start with WoW Classic. What do those ratings translate to as a letter grade for you guys?
I'm gonna have to go with WoW Classic being a. Is there B plus or just B?
Yeah, there's B minus. B plus,
A through F, right?
Yeah, we can do A through F.
B plus.
Avid.
I'd have to give it a B minus. Maybe even, I know what, I'm sorry, maybe a C plus.
Wow, that's pretty low. For the
I mean,
original.
well, if we're going to Fs, like I've got some that I enjoy way more than vanilla, but it's still not an A.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think myself I would go to an F, but I am gonna get pretty low. I'll go with a B for WoW Classic.
Okay, and then are we gonna go to
In order?
Yeah,
Burning
we're gonna go in
Crusades?
order from the releases. Now let's go with Burning Crusade. This
It's
was
probably
my
Go ahead.
okay. This was my favorite expansion. So yeah, I gotta give it a 10. VC's a 10 for me, man.
So
What's
it's an A
the time?
plus?
A plus.
Oh yeah, sorry, we're giving grades. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a. Yeah, wait, Wrath of the Lich King is next. I did like it better. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it an A plus.
A or A plus?
No, I'm gonna give it an A plus.
I'm gonna have to be right there with you. It's probably nostalgia, but A plus plus plus.
100% nostalgia for me.
Same here.
I'm gonna have to give it a B plus.
Damn, what is going? You goddamn casual? What are you like?
No, hold on. Is this one where I have to give one an A plus and I have to give one an F, or is it just all?
No, whatever score
you
you
want.
want. You can give them the same grades. You know, if you like the expansion's the same. But yeah,
I'd say A minus to a B plus, right around there.
yeah. So we all agree it's like one of the best expansions.
One of the, yeah.
Okay, what will be really interesting if they release a classic BC and we go back and play it and come back and
And hate it.
yeah, end up hating it and re-reviewing it or rescoring it.
Well,
Well,
don't
we
forget
had.
they have those servers that we were playing
Yeah,
on for a bit that were BC servers and Wrath servers.
I loved the BC servers. It was Ronnie and my brother added it.
Me, I
Couldn't
switched
grind
to
it. Yeah, you guys
no,
couldn't
I
grind it.
switched to Wrath because you know what my confusion was between the time when BC and Wrath were merging. Like, you know, the time when BC was ending and Wrath was beginning. It was at that time when they changed all the spells, but it was released before Wrath came out. So I thought that was BC, but that was
Yeah,
actually the beginning of Wrath.
I still remember that they added like Circle of Healing to Priest at the end of it, and I remember too. Yeah, that was fun.
Because I hopped on BC and I'm like, I don't have my spells that I remember, and then I'm like, that was
Yeah.
because it was right before Wrath came out.
Bro, I still remember Circle of Healing during that time.
It was OP.
before- It was like instant. There was no cool.
Yeah, you just spam it. I mean, you run out of mana.
Not if you had the gear for it.
No, well, if you had the gear and you had a Shadow Priest and a Druid innervating you, that's all you needed. It was over.
That stuff was awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Personally, I won't play a private server because there's the risk of losing that character. But
Yeah,
I mean, as long as you guys
that's true. But
enjoyed it.
the private server we played on, you could instantly start at level 70.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay, no, now that defeats the purpose.
It defeats the purpose of the grind, but I like
Grinding.
PvP.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I like
that makes
PvP.
sense. Yeah, definitely.
And BC was awesome because that's when they released the arenas, and it was like
Uh-huh.
that was fun, even though it wasn't
That's all I
balanced.
did. I literally created a guy on that server with Ronnie, and all we did was just do it all the time. That was it.
Yeah, that was probably the expansion I really PvP'd in as well. But I also did enjoy leveling in the newer areas and the heroics. I remember you taking us abs
Mhm.
to the Shattered Heroic or something, and it was insanely
Scattered
hard.
halls and all those.
And you guys did it like nothing, running us through, and I'm like, man, these guys know what they're doing. They're playing, and you guys just had all the tactics down compared to all the pugs out there.
Because I remember everybody like, oh, these places are hard. I don't feel like doing it. I'm like, bro, it's nothing. Let's go. Let's run it. Let's take us.
It was the hardest though out of the heroics at the time.
But when you get the
Releases.
mechanics and you have decent gear and you have, because it's like even gear is overrated. If you know what you're doing, it makes the run so much smoother.
Definitely, but also strategy and CCing back then. That was what makes it
Mhm.
my favorite expansion. It's like they pushed CC, not AOE tanking, and that transitions into Wrath of the Lich King. What do you guys grade it?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm gonna have to give this a C plus. Not because the game was bad itself. The game was fun, but it defeated the purpose of CS and that, or CC. I'm sorry, and you can just AOE tank, and it was a lot easier overall. And just the fact that they added looking for groups, and it made it a lot easier to do everything. Maybe right now I'd like it more just because I don't have as much time to find a group and do all that stuff, but it just defeated the purpose of a lot of things that made BC good, in my opinion.
Okay, Abs.
I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna have to say it's I enjoyed it more than BC in a sense because at that point in my WoW career, that's what I'm gonna call it, my WoW career, I was more of a PvPer.
Okay, and that's when
No.
PvP was at its best. You're calling
Yes, they added Death Knights. It gave it a whole new element. It was just PvP
But
was
Death
insane.
Knights were overpowered, I remember, when they first came out. They were supposed to be. They were like, this is the hero class, and then everyone jumped on it. A lot of people switched classes and went full out Death Knight as their main.
Their main.
And then they got screwed when they got nerfed.
Yep. But yeah, I liked it just because it added a lot more strategy in PvP because it started giving people more outs. Like rogues got to heal, mages got to heal, and they evocated. Like it gave it so it wasn't so unbalanced anymore in the PvP.
Yeah, that is when
the
it became
PvP was
equal.
you know, pre Wrath PvP was imbalanced. Not overly imbalanced, but it was imbalanced.
Yeah, definitely.
When
It
Wrath
was
came out,
a lot more
it evened
balanced.
it.
True, but this is why I would disagree with you. Why I like PvP before that. I did like that rock paper scissors type of PvP system, where maybe another class is a lot more powerful because he's this class and he wears this type
Like
of gear. Plate
this
versus
class
cloth.
counters this class, and
Exactly. Yep.
see, but that takes a lot of the strategy and skill out, because then it's like, no matter how good of a rogue I am, you're just gonna beat the shit out of me because you're a warrior.
That is
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah, that is true, but it's because I
But
started the game like that. I didn't want them to change it, but I guess they did it
but
for the
but
best.
Abed, that defeats the purpose of a MMO when all the classes can do all the same things. It defeats the
They
purpose of
can't see. No. They can't do all the. A mage can't heal other people, but they can kind of self heal if they're in a bind. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like, I'm not saying where a rogue can heal a warrior. No, he can bandage and go stealth and heal.
having.
You know, they gave themselves a little bit more survivability.
Yeah,
Not
but
But
Haas is right. As they move further and further in expansions, they're starting to give classes things they never had. Like warriors can now heal by a spell, which in MMO, the handbook or whatever, or at least the classic WoWs, this never existed.
But that's what made arenas shitty in a sense, because if I was on my rogue, let's say, and you're on your warrior, and warrior can't heal at all, I could stealth stun you, bleed you up, run away, and go stealth, and just keep chipping
yeah,
away at you until you're dead, and there's nothing
well,
you can do about it.
Then you had to get a
who's
partner that could help you out
One
to
on
counter
one,
other
one on one,
classes.
one on
but
one.
here
The game
I'll
wasn't
defend.
about one-on-one though.
But
Yeah,
arenas. Let's say both you 2-on-2. One guy dies, the other guy dies. It's a one-on-one fight now. What do you?
well, Abed,
You can't win.
I'm gonna have to agree with Abbott on this. For Wrath of the Lich King Hoos, it's not what you remember. They did add stuff, but it was still more balanced. For example, priests were able to dispel certain things where druids weren't able to dispel. Priests had mana burn while other classes didn't. I'm just speaking on the priest stand. We had Mass Dispel, I think, was added in Wrath of the Lich King, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. We can remove. We're the only class that can
Yeah.
remove bubbles.
Yeah, and then druids had their own thing too. The way they healed was a lot different than a priest would heal. And then the way paladins now it's basically almost all the same. But
Now it's almost the same.
yeah,
Of
everybody has
course.
spell,
That's what I
everybody
was
has
saying. It's
big
like
heals.
But Wrath wasn't like that
But
at all.
Wrath
still
wasn't like
had
that, is what I'm
individual-
just saying.
Everybody, like, priests could only cure diseases, and druids could only remove poisons.
Well,
And
priests were able to do diseases and
Magic.
magic. They were the only
Yeah.
class that were able to do both.
Pallies,
Pally's purify
cleanse and
and
purify.
okay.
Yep. But druids only
Okay.
poisons and curses.
Only poisons and curses. Yeah.
okay, so yeah, it does sound like it was still good at that point. But what I was trying to say is, as they move further, they did start to balance it, and maybe
Yeah.
that was the stepping stone that started it. But you guys are saying it was still really good compared to
That's
retail.
that's when PvP was at its peak for me.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. Okay, I
And
don't
at
think I
that
gave my
time,
rate.
I didn't do too much rating then. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Well, I like it for different reasons. I'm gonna give it an A, and the reason I like it is for the Arthas storyline, the Lich King storyline, and it was continuing off of Warcraft 3, which was a very successful game, and I
That
did
was my
enjoy.
favorite game for years.
Yeah, definitely. You played the mods, right? That's why.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and the other thing is that's when they introduced AoE healing or AoE tanking, no more CC. I didn't like that, but I still give it an A because it did make it easier to gear and to experience all the storylines that I enjoyed. Because in BC, I wasn't able to beat all the raids until the final patch where they basically nerfed everything. But for Lich King, I did end up killing the Lich King before any nerf patches. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an A.
Ice Crown Citadel. That was a good raid.
Definitely, oh man, my favorite. I remember staying up. I had college, and yeah, definitely nostalgia there. But I agree with you on that A.
You start playing at 10 o'clock, and then you look outside, and it's like, holy shit, it's light outside.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I remember those days. Okay, let's move to Cataclysm, which I believe is the downfall of WoW. And I'm just gonna say I give it a D. That's when they introduced Raid Finder. And even though at that point of my life, Raid Finder made it easier for me to finish off the raids, I mean, the whole world blew up. I think it ruined WoW. But what's your take? What's your grades, guys?
F.
Straight up F.
F. Even though I enjoyed the leveling process, I'm not gonna lie to you. It just that's probably my worst one. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
Okay, I think we all agree on that.
I,
It did have
yeah,
really
I'm gonna say
challenging
D,
heroics,
D
though.
minus.
Go ahead, sorry. You said D minus?
D minus, yeah, because it was fun still, but it was like the raid finder did ruin it, and not because it was just oh anybody can group. It's because it gave people the the self of entitlement where they're just like, oh, you didn't heal me, I leave group. Like, relax, like it happens. People die in a group. You just fucking pick up, you res and you redo it. But no, oh, this healer didn't heal me. He let me die. They rage quit from the group and just look for another
Yeah,
person.
that still happens nowadays. It kills me. It's like, yo, guys, you had to plan to fail and wipe about 10 times before getting this done back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Okay, let's move on to Mist of Pandera. That one's I enjoyed it, believe it or not. I know they added pandas. A lot of people were like, "Oh, this is getting worse and worse," but I think it got better than Cataclysm. Is that when they added that like pet battle system?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that was really interesting. That was something new, and yeah,
How
I
many
grinded.
times have you pet battled?
What is it?
How many times have you pet battled? I bet you can count it on two hands.
Oh, definitely, yeah, like 10 times. But that see, the thing is, I'm not a Pokemon
0.
fan.
Never.
I'm not a fan of Pokemon in the video games.
Yeah.
That's why.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it was cool, but I never really did it. You know what I mean?
What grade are you gonna give it, Hoos?
Okay, I'll give it a C plus, and let me tell you why. I really enjoyed the environments. They looked beautiful. They were like some of the best graphics. What do you guys give it?
I'm gonna have to give it a B minus. I'm like you. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I played that. I remember getting that dragon. I forgot what that flying mount is. You had to do all these dailies to get.
Oh,
yeah,
the
That's what
Netherwing.
I did. Yup.
the Netherwing. Yeah, dude.
Netherwing, that was a beast.
Yeah, that thing was nice. And
That was the best looking mount at the time.
And I enjoyed the PvP in that too. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I remember. Well, no, I disagree. Because that's when they also added another hero class called monks. And I remember me and you.
Oh, God, I hate it.
my god, yeah.
Yeah, me and you went into a PvP battle that lasted an hour because you could keep healing me, and that monk, we were 2v1, and he kept healing himself, just trolling us. It was ridiculous. I did not like PvP at all in Mist of Pandera.
Mm.
What do you give it,
Yeah.
Abid? What's your grade?
I'm gonna hit it with a C minus. I just it was fun. It was better than Kata. I liked Panda, but I didn't like Monk. I liked the class of the Panda. It was cool. It was a different take. You could be either Alliance or Horde, which was kind of cool. It was one of the only classes that did, other than the DKs, you know. But I didn't care for Monk.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I don't care for them. I got a 120 boosted monk, and they
At the
are
time,
amazing
at the
tanks.
time.
Yeah, at
No,
the
no,
time.
I
you're
like
right.
Monk. At the time, I was like, I hate this class. It ruined PvP. It really did.
That's true. I agree with
And
you. on that.
and I'm more of a PvPer than a PvEer. So most of my judgment, most of my grades here are going to be biased towards PvP.
Okay, that's no problem. I mean, that's the game you enjoy. Okay, let's see. Next was Warlords of Draenor. That's when they decided to go more cutscene, story focused. They brought back Outlands. It's Outlands in the past, but on a parallel timeline. What's his name? Garish Hellscream. It made no sense. Coming off of Mist of Pandera, when they imprisoned Garish, he somehow escaped magically. I think it was in a comic book. I can't stand that. It's like, give me the story in the game. I don't want to go read the comics, although I do go on Wikipedia and sometimes read about each character. But anyways, Warlords, more story focused. I'm gonna give it see, I liked it better than Cataclysm, but less than Mist, so I'm gonna say C minus.
Go ahead, Abbott.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with like a C. C sounds about right for just because I didn't like bringing Outlands back was kind of cool because it was a familiar place that's been changed, and it's like, all right, this is war torn now. This is after everything happened, but it's just the storylines were cool. You know, I mean, not that it followed the storyline. I mean, the cinematics of it, like the direction they kind of went with it was kind of cool. But I
Yeah,
didn't care for the gameplay as much.
same here. I didn't like the worlds either. It was just like a lot of, I think it had a lot of hills and a lot of spots that were just annoying. And then that's when they had the flying mount requirement of doing 2 achievements where you had to grind rep, and I wasn't interested. Just let us buy our flying mounts. They're still doing that, even though they did ease it up in retail right now.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was excited. Oh man, they're bringing it back to Outlands and this and that. And the garrison. Oh man, but the garrison was horrible.
Oh, I totally
I didn't
forgot
like
about that. Yeah, it was a
wasn't
waste.
as good as they made it seem.
exactly. I didn't like it, and I didn't like just that game. If can I give it a G?
That's worse than Kata though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I probably
right?
like Kata more. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
See, the
so
thing about Draenor is the garrisons. They hyped it up to where it seemed like you were gonna have your own base and this and that, and all it was just a place for you to go to collect some resources and maybe help improve your profession.
yeah, it
You-
wasn't actually there for people to come walk around and visit. You had to
Yeah.
invite them to the group, and then they can. I think they could
Mhm.
come there. I'm not even sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I made a lot of gold using my garrison.
Yeah, dude,
I made a lot of gold, but it was like, other than that, it was just it was a waste of
Yeah.
time. You
So
spent a
what'd
lot
you
of time
grade
in
it?
there. See,
Oh, okay.
I gave it an F.
Okay, so you gave it a similar score to Cataclysm, but
I,
Cataclysm's better.
if I had to change my Kata, I put it higher.
I mean,
They're
you don't
both
have to. You
Fs.
can give them similar scores. Let's say you liked one expansion better.
I gave
F
3
plus,
things,
F minus.
but still F's.
What's next?
Okay, we got Legion
Legion.
next, and I thought it was a very good direction. Brought back Illidan. Notice how you're saying PvP, I'm saying storyline, but also I like the dungeons.
Yeah.
I liked exploring the lands. It was challenging again. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm gonna give this over Mists, but under BC and Lich King. So I'll give it a B plus. I really liked it. They gave it a really good direction. What do you guys say?
I'm gonna have to.
Go ahead, Ask.
All right. I'm gonna have to go with this under classic, but this is my third favorite expansion. I'm gonna give it a B, a flat B. And the game was really I loved the raids. I liked the dungeons. I liked the way it went, the mythics and all that stuff. It was fun.
Yep. I'm gonna agree with you on that and give it a B. And even with the PvP, I'm gonna give it a B because they came out with Demon Hunters, right? Demon Hunters were sick. They were fun to play. They were badass, but they weren't too overpowered to where DKs were like in Lich King. You know what I mean?
Yep. Good. Very
Like
good.
they came out, they were fun to play, but they weren't dominating everybody. You could still kill a Demon Hunter, you know. And the Demon Hunter itself was a really good character model. It just everything about it was fun. They added a double. That was the only character that could double jump and glide. You didn't need to carry goblin gliders when you jumped off of fucking places. You know, it's like it was a fun expansion. The storyline was amazing. They added so much to it where you can get those mechs, you can get those world spells where you whatever zone you're in, you get an extra spell to use in that zone. It was a lot of fun.
I completely agree. And the replay value, like, the only thing I didn't like is how we had to be tied to this weapon, but every class had its own storyline, own cutscenes. Yeah, it was a big expansion. And that's the first time we saw Sargeras.
I didn't mind the weapon.
Oh, so you prefer that type of
Not
system?
that I prefer it, I didn't mind it. It was cool because you had like yeah, everybody had the same weapon at that point, but luckily there's transmogs, but it gave you a different, you had to use your weapon properly, your item, because every weapon had a use on it. And if you use the weapon properly, it can be devastating. Or if you end up using it wrong, it didn't do anything. It was no good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you had to know how to use your abilities for it to work.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Anything more to add to it, Zexios?
No, that's really about it. Legion was just fun. It was good. I like.
Yeah, and I hope
PvP
to
picked
see a
up a lot.
sequel. Sorry?
PvP went up. That's when PvP jumped back up in the fun bracket again since Wrath. Because after Wrath, PvP went down, 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 down. Then Legion brought it back.
Yeah, I agree with that. And with that said, let's move to a downward spike,
Okay.
which was Battle for Azeroth.
Downwards the fucking
I
Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I need to think about this one. Evid, you can go first.
I'm gonna give it an E. I'm gonna have to give it an E. I just didn't like where they went with it. Like the world quest and stuff were cool. You know, all that stuff was still cool. You can get extra items. They just made it too easy. It was like I literally stopped playing for months at a time, and then I'd hop back on, and in 2 weeks I'm more geared than people that have been playing it. Like how? How does that should never happen in an MMO?
Yeah, I did that too. Where I'd stop playing, go back in for a couple weeks, get so geared, and then leave again, and then come back.
Like you didn't have to grind. You didn't have to put effort in. You didn't have to. All you had to do is just click a raid finder and complete it. You know.
No, what do you mean?
Jump
You do
in.
your first. You do your dailies,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
world quests. You get like most of the gear there, and then you do a little bit of that, a
Yeah.
couple mythic.
You do one mythic and you're good. You get an item at the end of the week that's better than anything you already had.
Yeah,
Haas, what do you grade it?
I'm gonna have to give it a D minus.
Okay, it looks like I disagree with you guys. Let me say why. Okay, when it first came out, everything you guys are saying is true, but the latest patch fixed most of that. One thing is you gotta finish all that whole chain quest just to be able to kill the last raid boss, Enzoth. So I felt with their war campaign they did a good job, even though it wasn't as good as previous expansion like Legion. But for what Battle for Azeroth was for the time, my availability of playing, it definitely suits it. So I'm gonna go high with this one, and I'm gonna give it a B.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
pretty crazy.
play the latest parts of. I stopped playing WoW for the past like 5 or 6 months, and I
Yeah.
literally just reactivated my subscription like 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
So
that's
I
another
don't,
reason.
I don't know any of what what you're talking about. I didn't see any of that. I'm still
Yeah,
talking.
I
You know
I
what I mean?
agree with you guys. Yeah, you just started, but the last two patches at least were a lot better than the first couple of patches. That is exactly what you guys are saying. I agree with that, but at this point, it seems like Blizzard is listening more to their fans as they already extended the experience buff called Winds of Wisdom from April 20th to Shadowlands pre-patch. But I know what you guys are going to say. Yeah, there's a new expansion, so they have to play nice, which I also agree.
Hmm. They want people to buy that expansion.
Bro, they already messed up on Warcraft 3. They have to do something.
Bro, Warcraft 3 was
Yeah.
a fail. It was a fail.
And you're like a huge Warcraft 3 fan.
Bro, I've been playing it since fucking what, 2000? Did it come
Yeah,
out?
dude, you've been playing it for a while.
And I haven't stopped playing it, even though like new games came out, way better graphics. I still find myself on Warcraft 3 playing custom matches in 2016, 2017. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's just what
2019.
Did you buy the
what do you mean?
remaster?
I bought the remastered way before anybody else did. I'm the one that convinced you guys to do it. Now I feel bad about it because it's fucking flop.
Oh, no reason to. We all refunded it. Did you refund
Yeah.
it?
I didn't refund it. Out of nostalgia, I'm gonna keep it just because that was my go-to game for like 10 years, man.
Okay, but did they mess up the original? Are you still playing the original version,
You
or?
can't play the original anymore.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. The original is gone. They replaced it now.
Okay, that's
So
horrible.
even if you don't buy the expansion, when you play it, you're still playing the expansion version, just not not fully. Like the graphics are still updated and all.
Oh, okay. So I see the reason. I would agree then. I would keep it if I was at the point you're at.
Like I'm not
But
gonna.
yeah, let's move on. Our last topic of the podcast,
Yeah.
and that's the WoW Shadowlands preview. So I'm gonna just take everything straight off the website.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys also see the screen, the main page. I'm gonna move past the pre-purchase section and beyond the whole storyline. I'm sure you guys all saw the trailer. It's epic. It's I mean that's the reason I want World of Warcraft 2 is because I want those cutscenes to become reality. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. I'm a little hesitant. I'm not gonna lie. Just everything about that game, I'm a little hesitant. I'm probably gonna buy it and play it, but
Abs, you asked me what I meant.
Yeah, about the Warcraft 2.
Okay,
The
you see these crazy cinematics? Like I want those to be the graphics and I want that to be third person and playing an MMO through that type
Oh,
of
gotcha.
that's what I want in WoW 2.
That would be amazing, but you know the gameplay never looks like the cinematics.
I know, yeah, but I mean, come on. How many next gens are we going to go to finally get those cutscenes as real gameplay?
How many video cards do I gotta buy?
Yeah, true. Okay, so I'm just gonna move to the new worlds, which is the 5 new zones section. First we see here is Bastion. Okay,
yeah,
this looks really nice. It reminds me of the Throne of Thunder like type of raid looking area. I think Mist of Pandaria had those type of dungeons. What do you
yeah,
guys
dude.
think?
I was gonna say it's like a Miss Pandaria kind of area.
What do you think, Abs? It
Just
interests
out of
me.
how it looks, I mean, it looks sweet, looks cool. I don't, I didn't really get into it much to really see what it actually looks like, but yeah, it seems like it'll be an interesting place.
Well, let's talk about the 5, just the number 5. Is that enough? 5 new zones for a new expansion?
How many are they cutting the levels back?
Yeah, we'll get to that. I think it's in the next section or maybe
Because
the
that's
section after.
how I want to top on 5 zones.
Yeah, they're
If
cutting
you're
it to
leveling up
level 60 as max.
Okay, and you're going you're going up 10 levels, right?
Yes, that's correct.
2 levels per zone seems about right, depending on how big the zones are.
Okay. Well, they did say an hour leveling. It might take each level 1 hour. Is that something that is good or bad?
That seems quick.
10 hours. That's pretty.
Because
quick.
that means I can buy the expansion, and before the day is over, I can be max level.
Correct, but it's feeling like a Call of Duty. You get a 6-hour experience, 6 to 10 hour, based on difficulty, and then you jump into multiplayer.
Yeah, but Warcraft has always been known for the grind and the.
That's true. The game
fucking
starts at
really-
max level.
Mhm.
Okay, Ardenweld, or however you pronounce it. This looks more like a Darnassus. What do you guys think?
Like a Zingamarsh type of.
Your boy Zangermarsh.
Your boy's English. Ardenweld or whatever.
Ardenweald, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. It looks like Emerald Nightmare, something like that. You know what I mean? Drew. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, all these weird like little story takes about it, afterlife and all this. It's I don't know. It's kind of making me wonder like I guess it is in the Shadowlands about how's everything looking so nice, so beautiful if it's supposed to be like a middle state between, life and death.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe this is
Okay.
heaven, and the other places are hell.
But it also says it's tended by the Mystic Knight.
Yeah, that's very strange. Okay, moving on. Meldrexus. You see the skull there. You see the
Next
exactly. Yup, you nailed it. That's what it's reminding me. That's what it's reminding me of. But this isn't a raid; it's a whole land, and it looks.
It looks
it's
like
gonna
more
be
of a. It looks like more of a Black Temple or Eastern Plague Land kind of area. Like I remember is it called the Netherlands in BC? Is that what it was called? The Black Temple area.
Shadowlands.
Shadowlands.
Was it Oh crap!
That's why I said when you said Shadowlands, I'm like, yeah, there's already like a shadow, like where the Australian crypts are, what's that place? The fucking Shadow Keep or something like that. I know. One of them was a crypt where the druid had to go to get his mount, his
Something like that, yeah.
You
It's
know what I'm
not
talking
ringing
about?
a
That mount for
bell.
the druid.
I didn't play the
Australian
Druid.
crypts, Archidon, something like that.
Oh, Archidon Tombs or something. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where they had the 6 instances, Mana Tombs. No, it was Mana Tombs.
Mana Tombs.
Yeah, Sethicals.
Archanian crypts. Sethicals. Yep, Sethicals was the one the druid had to go to get his talon.
Yep.
To get the talon.
Okay, now I remember. Good memory on that.
It's like that area. That's what it reminds me of. What was the last place? The last dungeon?
That's what I was gonna mention. Not the last dungeon. I thought you were talking
there
about
was Sethic, Mana Tombs, Archanian, and there was one more, the harder one.
Yeah, the hard one that had like a loop, and you fight this tornado-looking murmur boss.
Yeah.
Murmur. What was the name of that place?
Shit, man, it was something with an S.
I forgot.
I still have the toy you get from Murmur.
That's hilarious. Okay, anyways, you guys.
Shadow Labyrinth.
Shadow Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Shadow Labs. Yep.
That was a good one.
But yeah, I was gonna mention why they calling this expansion Shadowlands? Call it Netherstorm, since they never added Netherstorm in Warlords of Draenor.
Netherstorm.
Wasn't there another storm?
No, there wasn't. They were gonna add it, but they decided not to, and they moved on to the Legion expansion.
Another storm was in Outlands, man.
Yeah, it wasn't Outlands, but hey.
Yeah, it was in Outlands, the last area to quest in. But Warlords, they did hint that
Netherlands where TC was? Temple's Keep? Or not Temple's Keep?
Yup, TK, the
because
all that.
Tempest Keep. Yeah.
Temple's Keep, there.
Yeah, I remember doing those dungeons over there in Netherstorm. That's like I remember it.
Okay, let's move on to Revendreth. Or is it Raven? No, Revan.
Oh, no.
It says it's a realm of looming keeps and gothic villages. Okay, that's new to WoW. I can't compare that to anything.
Maybe like a Kara?
I mean,
Karazhan area? You
had when the Blood Elves came out, that was kind of...
Yeah, but it looks a lot darker. I think Zexy Haas kind of nailed it with the Karazhan, but... Yeah, was Karazhan a little creepy like this? It looks kind of creepy.
Yeah, definitely. With like undeads everywhere.
It also reminds me of the Wolf area. What's that place called?
Yeah.
Dusk.
It was next to
South
Shore. Yep.
Oh.
Well, no, not the instance. It's the whole land, the starting area for
the
Worgans.
Worgans, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, and the last one is the Maw, which I believe
Undercity.
Is it called the Undercity?
I'm saying it looks like Undercity.
Yeah. I think this is the last area of the game, the end game area, but I can't say for sure.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It is.
Okay, so this to be cast.
The first 4 are just the zones, and then the Maw is like the max level area.
Yeah, that's probably where the last raid will be of the expansion release, or when the first raid comes out, and then later on they'll patch in new areas where they always add those little islands or whatever else they add.
Yeah,
okay. And scrolling down, it says Orbis is the Undying City, which is the home area.
Yeah,
it's like the new Stormwind.
Yeah, or Borealis retail current WoW expansion. Okay, we can move past this. There's really no preview about that. Here it talks about covenants and abilities. Now, I know, Abid, you were researching that. What can you tell us about the covenants and the abilities? Are they like ultimates, basically?
Well, what it is each covenant, there's 4 different covenants that you can choose from. And I guess each one is in each different zone. How you see, like, Carrion is in the Bastion zone, and Venthyr is in the Revendreth zone. You got the Night Fae, and then you got Necrolord.
So is it like tying us to a zone, basically?
No. What it is you're going to experience each zone, so you're gonna see each one of those, and
Oh.
then you get to choose which one you want
Do you think it's a
at the
sense of
time.
like
You choose-
Irithor and Scryer type of like choosing?
Essentially, yeah, yep.
Is
But-
it similar
but
to
not- it
like
doesn't-
PC when you had to pick a reputation?
Reputation, but like Scryer and Elder, it's similar like that in having to choose, and you can only be one or the other. But this one, they're giving you more options. But when you pick it, it's not like you're doing it for rep to buy item. You get an ability for picking that faction. I guess you can call it a faction. You get an ability for picking one of those factions.
Can you pick it? Can you pick it at any level, or you have to wait till max level?
That I'm not sure. I think you have to experience all 4 of those zones before you can pick it. So I'm assuming it's maybe you pick it at max level. I'm not sure. But I know that each one has its own ability. And then there's another ability you get 2 abilities for it when you pick. One of them, like all Necrolords will get the same ability. All Night Phase will get the same ability. But then you'll get another ability depending on what race you pick. So human Necrolords will have this ability where Night Elf Necrolords will have a different ability.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta use the bathroom. My bad.
Okay, and I think me and you, Abs, can cover the infinite dungeon feature, which is the next section. It's reminding me like they're trying to take that Diablo pathway. I'm not too happy about
Like
it.
Dungeon crawler style, like.
That's what it sounds like. Like each dungeon is gonna have a different enemy, or like it's gonna change it up. It's never gonna be the same run through as your first or second or third run through. It sounds like adventure mode in Diablo. That's what it sounds like to me. What do you think?
They're adding randomness to.
Yeah, I don't like that idea, and well, it all depends if it's going to be a core element where this is what you got to run to get geared. They kind of have that now in BFA where it's more of a solo dungeon and you keep running it and you keep gaining new abilities to be able to run that solo. Like for example, I might run that dungeon right now in BFA, and basically Anzoth took over Stormwind. I run it the first time, I die, but I gain enough experience to unlock heal. So I run it the second time, and now I can get further into it because I can heal.
You have heal, gotcha. I can see how that could be fun, because it'll make you push to just keep trying to get further and further and further. But it has to be rewarding for it to be something like that, where you're going to run the same thing over and over and over. Because if it's not that rewarding, the repetitiveness doesn't make up for it to me.
I agree, but I also disagree, because if it's too rewarding and it makes everyone only run this, but then again, based on BFA, there's multitudes of different things that give you enough gear to progress through the game.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying give me everything from it, but make it worth it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Give us a reason to go through it more than just gaining new loot or getting random drops. See, because once they add this random drop, and people are going to have the same... This is what I'm worried about. People are going to have the same exact gear with the different stats. And that's what Destiny does, and that's what I cannot stand.
Okay. Back in most, like... And it's also kind of like how the mythics are now. Like, you can join a mythic and you'll have these debuffs on you that every time you kill a guy, he explodes. Or every, you know what I mean? Like those little things that you get when you join the mythics, depending on what level mythic you choose.
Now, I'm not 100% sure. I've done mythics, but I've never gone past to like mythic +2 or +3. So you think it's more of like debuffs?
So like when you do like Mythic 5, it'll add a random debuff. So like let's say the bosses have 30% more.
And then so it's more of a challenge. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And then when you hit Mythic 10, it'll add 2 things to where now the boss has 30% more health, and every enemy you kill explodes after you kill them. So if you're next to them, it just, if you kill too many at the same time, it wipes the whole group. So you can't just AoE everything. You gotta solo.
Yeah,
I really dislike that a lot.
But that's kind of how I'm seeing this, as a sense how when you were saying the infinite dungeon, how they keep adding random things change. That's kind of the vibe it's giving.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that. I know I'll fiddle around with it, but if it's like I'm thinking and like you're thinking,
we're doing those mystics.
Oh yeah, what
Oh
do you think
yeah.
about that? What do you think? Because they're adding infinite dungeons, Ixihas. And I was saying it's kind of like Diablo's adventure mode, where I was worried they might give random drops. People will get the same looking gear, but with different stats, sort of like how Destiny does it. And that's what I'm worried about. Abbott is saying it might be like Mythics and Mythic Plus, where they just add debuffs, and as you get to the higher tier of debuffs, it'll increase. But Infinite Dungeon is always going to be random. It's going to be a random dungeon. It might be the same structure, but different enemies each time you run it, so it's never the same.
That's something nice. I kind of like that. Make it change it up a little bit. Why not? We'll see it. I don't want to prejudge it.
Because it says your runs will differ each time.
Mythics, when you get to a high level of Mythic, it always changes what kind of debuff or.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. Yeah.
So it's probably something similar to that, but in this one, it's saying completely different. Mobs that you're fighting that have different abilities. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I like that.
I see what you're saying, but again, to touch on what you guys were saying about Mythics, how it changes, does it change weekly or is it random for every player?
Time you do a Mythic.
Well, it matters how high of a Mythic level you're doing. So if you're doing Mythic 1, nothing changes really. But when you get to like Mythic 10, it gives you like multiple debuffs.
Yeah, Mythic 5 will give you 1, Mythic 10 will give you 2, Mythic 15 will give you 3.
But this is like an esports thing. Like, say one team is on Mythic 10 and another team's on Mythic 10. Are you sure it's not going to give the same debuff based on that week instead of random?
It is.
Yeah,
it is. It'll tell you what they are going to be.
Okay, that makes more sense to me then.
But they do change. It's not always the same. But it is like that whole day will be the same. That whole week will be the same. Then it'll change.
I get what you're saying. Destiny did the same exact thing for their raids when they wanted to add something new. They added challenges that rotate every single raid reset week. Anyways, moving on to the leveling section. So it says 1 through 10 for new players. They're going to level from 1 through 10. And from 10 to 50, they're going to choose the expansion they want to play. Well, actually, for brand new players, Blizzard has already said they're just going to play through the Battle for Azeroth expansion to get to 50. And then from 50 to 60, they're going to enter the Shadowlands. For us, leveling on all, we can play that 1 through 10 new journey if we want. But instead, we can just go through Elwyn Forest again, and then at level 10, we can choose which expansion to play through, and it'll give us a linear story from 10 to 50, and then enter the Shadowlands 50 to 60. So it sounds more like it's going to become a linear MMORPG. What's your take, Gabs?
10. What's that new journey for new players?
It's like a starting area for new people.
No,
we've never
it's a dungeon. It's a starting dungeon for a new player to learn the basics. It's basically a training mode. They're gonna fight bosses. Yeah, it's something you've never seen before.
For 10 levels?
Yup. I mean, the boost is gonna be quick, I assume.
Oh, okay. And then pick your era. So once you hit level 10, you can do Battle for Azeroth, you can do Legion, you can do Cataclysm, you can do BC, whichever one you want to do.
Yeah.
Only if you're not a brand new player to World of Warcraft.
Which makes sense. If you're brand new, they want you to be
follow
familiar. You got to be familiar with the storyline for Shadow of Azeroth, since it's going to be with
Shadowlands, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense from a story point of view. Good
so if you're a new player, so when you hit level 10, where do you go?
You pick
directly.
You pick.
No, you don't pick. If
no,
you're
I'm saying if you're a new player.
Yeah, you go to Battle of Azeroth area.
Oh, right away. Just battle. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Okay, and the last section.
Okay, so let's say I'm sorry, I got another question.
Go ahead.
Let's say you pick Burning Crusade, and you get to level 25, and you're like, I'm bored of this. Can I switch to Wrath?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm pretty sure you can. By the way, I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, but then that asks another question. When you pick a different expansion, is it starting you from the beginning? And are you going to be able to complete the whole storyline going from 25?
That's where I'm.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm going to assume you can't, but we'll see.
Okay.
I know right now you're able to choose the quest and go back to previous areas and level, and sometimes you can choose to de-level to play with your friends, so it is still possible. I'm not going to debunk it completely. Okay, so the last section, pre-purchase. I did pre-purchase Epic Edition, and the reason I did that was to get the 30 days of free game time because I
I was
wanted
thinking
to
about
add
that
more.
myself.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you guys. What about you guys? Apps? So you're still thinking about it?
I was debating on well, I'm gonna pre-purchase it, obviously. I just was debating on getting either just the regular retailer or the Epic. Because no point in getting the heroic. If you're gonna get the heroic, you get the Epic.
Yeah, and
Uh,
here's the thing: if you're getting the Epic Edition, some people are like, "Oh, damn, it's digital." If I'm paying the $80 or whatever it costs, why not get the physical and get all the collectors, the artwork, and all that? But here's the thing: what Blizzard is allowing, if you purchase it now through Epic Edition, you can purchase the also the physical Epic Edition. Once you enter that key and tie it to your account, you can go back and refund the digital Epic Edition. You still got all the rewards and you got the physical items.
they'll allow you to do that if you purchase the physical one.
Yes, if you already purchase, like if you purchase Epic Edition right now, because right now
Mhm.
physical isn't up for pre-order, and you get it later on when the game comes out or before the game comes out. Just tie it to your account and you can refund the Epic Edition, and Blizzard will give you your money back on that.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, my question is, are they gonna give us another 30 days for free?
I think they should. It doesn't cost them anything.
Yeah, I hope they would, but I doubt they will. Haas, are you gonna what version are you gonna get?
Probably just a basic, the regular.
Well,
Okay.
did you look at what you get when you get the heroic
Yeah,
and the Epic?
yeah, I did. Besides,
Uh,
So
Go
you're
ahead.
just getting the base edition.
yeah.
Okay, we can move on. Is anyone gonna join the beta?
Don't
We'll
know.
see.
Don't think
I
so.
don't.
I might put in for it. If I get it, I get it. If not, it's whatever. But
I opt into
Yeah.
it, but I might not play it. I might just launch it up just to look at the new areas because
yeah,
I don't like playing it.
exactly.
I don't like killing the game, and also I'm probably gonna be fighting other people that join the beta just to do a few quests.
Yeah, same here. I opted in as well, and I probably will play the beta. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Like I'll play it, but not really play it. I'll open it up. I'll check it out. Check out the spells. See if anything's different. But I'm not gonna dedicate any time to it. You know.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you have it. When do you guys think this is coming out? Some people are saying August, and oh, that's the other thing. Previous podcast, I said that Battle for Azeroth isn't releasing any more patches. They are going to release the Shadowlands pre-patch. That's when the double XP is going to stop. When do you think the game is actually coming out? Is it going to be August? Is it going to be, which month? I'm estimating if not August, then it's going to come out in the fall, November. But I'm really hoping they get it done by August. So let's see, April. I'm gonna say they can meet their August release date, at least August 28th or 20th, around that time.
I'm gonna have.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I was gonna say most expansions, if you remember, they always come out July or August. So I'm gonna have to say July or August, like they usually do.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Most of them came out in November and August. I don't know July. I know August and November, December around Christmas time,
Yeah,
and also in the
actually, it's
So-
like well, maybe August, maybe you're right, but it's always most of them came out around the summer, like that time, August time. Most of them,
Correct.
if I
Holiday
remember
time.
correctly.
Most of them came out around the holiday.
Really?
November, December.
Oh, that is true.
January.
Yeah, Cataclysm came out near the end. Wrath of the Lich King came out in November, if I remember correctly. BC
Wow.
as well.
Maybe
they've
I'm
changed
losing my
it.
mind.
No, they have changed it.
The only one that came out in August was Leap. Everything else was November, December.
Damn.
It's cold. It's been winter.
Battle for
How about BFA?
No, yeah, how about BFA? I know WoW Classic came out in August.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
I don't remember BFA when that was.
August 14th.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
seems like they changed that. Well, do you guys think it's still going to be August, even though with everything that's going on?
Corona time? I don't know. If I don't think Corona's gonna slow down Blizzard production. To be honest with you, as far as getting an expansion out, because they want that money. They know they're going to get it as soon
Not
as they
only
release it.
that, it's not like The Last of Us 2. They don't care about their physical sales. They're all digital sales
Yeah,
now. Everyone
it's
gets it
all
digitally.
digital.
Burning Crusades was released January. What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a strange one. It looks like they didn't meet their holiday season on that.
It was
so they
supposed to be around Christmas, and it got postponed.
That's
Yeah,
when they actually like finishing games.
yeah, that happened with Warcraft 3. Anyways, let's move on to the map. So,
Mr. Pandaria was the only one that was a little weird. It was September.
Yep.
Anyway.
interesting. Okay, do you guys see the map on screen where it shows all the new areas? Oribus, the home city in the
Yeah.
center, the mall, Maldrix's Bastion. Now, this is from BlizzCon, it looks like, or at least the presentation that they gave. I don't know. I know they're probably gonna have. They're not showing the exact cities or land continents within the bigger continent, but it looks small to me. What do you guys think?
I mean, it depends on the scale, because we don't know how big each one of those continents really are when you zoom in.
That's
But
true.
That's true, yeah.
It's hard to say.
I am glad that Orbis is in the center of all four of them. That I'm thankful for.
Yeah, it looks though like we're not going to be able to fly around. We're going to be able to teleport more so. But again, I could be wrong.
Could be a little
And-
boat or a little zeppelin or something you hop on to get from place to place.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case, and I hope they just allow us to buy our flying mounts. Anyways, the mall reminds me
No,
of...
they're not.
They won't. Not
Yeah.
in the beginning.
That's true. I know the... I was going to say the mall reminds me of the Maelstrom.
Maelstrom, yep. And
So,
Shamans came out.
Yeah.
so it feels to me like we're only getting really 4 new lands and like a mini land, a mini island, like the Maelstrom.
I think the mall is probably going to be just like not even dungeons, just like you go there, you kill a couple enemies that are standing in the way for you running up to the raid area,
That's a possibility.
like how Hydro used to be. Like you just walked in, you ran up, you go through the port, and now you're in Hydro, and you got you're in your raid. That seems like how it probably going to be, because I know you have to be one like max level to get to the.
I agree with you. So you don't think they're going to use the whole system of choose which area to go to first, or are they going to only do that with the first lands? I believe they're going to only do it with the four ones you see, and then the mall, like you said, is you got to be level 60.
Yeah, I think they're going to do it the same way they did back when Howling Fjord and all those places were out. You can pick where you want to start. You start either one of them, and you can just rotate between them and finish them as you want, direction you want. But you do have to complete each one of them in order to progress.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm just looking at the whole preview of all the skills, and I'm just skimming through it because we're like way over time here. And yeah, it's pretty much everything you talked about. I do see there's about 5 signature abilities, which it looks like they're tied to covenants. And are these the ultimates basically?
That's the ones that we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Where if you pick, the Venthrin, then you get a spell, and then because you're a human, you'll get a different spell. So you get 2 spells depending on your covenant that you choose. Which these covenant spells seem to mimic some of the other spells that already exist.
Yeah.
Like the Kyrian spell looks like almost like how the dwarf has that stone skin that removes all these bleeds and poisons and all that stuff.
Okay, makes sense. Anything to add to it, Zexy Haas?
No. Not really.
Okay, I think we pretty much wrapped up everything. I'm gonna go ahead and close with thanking you, Abid, for coming on once again. We always appreciate your take. I mean, you're very knowledgeable with these games. And yeah, you're more than welcome to join us anytime on any podcasts. With that said, I did mention on episode 10 of season 1 that a website was coming soon and hopefully by the summer. I'm going to go ahead and just say it really needs to be delayed till next year because I mean, whenever it's ready, we'll announce a date, but so far we're going to stick to the YouTube channel. We're hoping more people subscribe, so please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Give us a like. And we'll always be back with new faces. Any last word, guys?
No? Thank you, Abby, for coming on, man. I appreciate it. It's always good to get your take. And make sure you guys subscribe, leave a comment, like, all that good stuff.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Always a pleasure. And keep on listening, guys.
And with that, we're out of here.
Peace. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. With one of these. With one of these on.
Can you guys
We'll
hear
turn off
my
the
baby
cameras.
crying in the background or no?
No?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, you do hear him? Damn it.
Go beat him up.
Shut up,
I'm gonna
Baba.
beat his ass.
I told you I'm busy.